It is important to give mention to cultural differences when discussing the fallacy of race and racial prejudice. According to Ashley Montagu, cultures differ from one another to the extent to which the history, the experience of each of the interacting groups has differed. To elaborate, we are not born with our cultures, and instead we learn them after we're born. We are enculturated by the society around us. For example, if a Chinese person is adopted by an American family at birth, they will not behave as they would in Chinese culture. They would learn the physical expressions and behaviors of American culture. We don't inherit these traits. They are by no means genetically determined. We are essentially all the same in the biological sense, as we all have the same exact biological needs. The differences between our actions are predicated on the differences between our cultural experiences and standards, rather than any sort of genetic inferiority. As the author put it, the history of mankind proves that advances of culture depend upon the opportunities presented to a social group to learn from the experience of their neighbors. Though cultural differences may be explained, that is not to say that they aren't exploited by angry people searching for a platform to express their anger. In search of the root of this anger, Montagu investigates the issue from a psychological perspective. What he found was that when a child was deprived of getting what they wanted, a fundamental frustration with the world developed that needed to be stifled to conform to societal norms, but one never truly escapes it. Though that isn't all. The author also described there being a link between fear and frustration with aggression that stemmed from suppressed aggression against frustrating, fearful people. In mentioning the result of this association, Montagu states that any object even remotely suggesting such fear or frustrative situations provokes the aggressive behavior with which such fears and frustrations have become associated. Racial prejudice manifests itself in the form of frustration and pain inflicted upon others. The idea of it is so alluring to many people as it reminds them of a time in which they were in the same vulnerable position. As Montagu states, by doing so they are able to find an object for their aggressiveness, which most satisfactorily permits the free expression of aggressiveness by means almost identically resembling those which in childhood were indulged against them.